What will you lose if you stop being convenient? And what will you find if you reclaim your wild breath? There are women who carry the scent of freedom. Even in a crowd, they stand out, not by their clothing, not by loud words, but by the unmistakable truth that they cannot be confused with those who have already agreed to live by someone else's rules. In their gaze, a forest at dawn, quiet, yet full of strength. In their stride, a wave that knows no shore. They do not wear another's collar, and even if someone once tried to tame them, inside, there still remains a trail leading deep into the forest, the path that can lead them back to themselves. Perhaps you remember that path too? Perhaps once you walked it and then lost your way in the noise of other people's expectations. The essence of the archetype. The untamed is feminine energy that refuses a life in a cage. She knows that her wild instincts are not a threat, but a source of power. Her inner compass is not someone else's rules, but her own sense of truth. Her wildness is not chaos. It is the ability to remain herself in a world that constantly tries to make you the same as everyone else. She goes where her nature calls her, and she can hear that call even in the noise of the city. She is not against the world, she is for herself. And here lies the paradox. Such a woman often inspires others, yet may also stir fear in those who are used to controlling everything. The untamed is not about conflict and not about chaos. It is about an inner loyalty to oneself, about the ability to say yes or no, even when it displeases the majority. The untamed is not a loud protest, nor a hunger to destroy everything that has been built. Her nature is deeper, quieter, a calm yet unshakable I am that needs no one's permission to be heard. She does not fight with the world, she dances with it, keeping her own step even when the music changes. She can weave herself into the rhythm of life without losing her own beat. Her wildness is not chaos, but a memory of who she was before the first masks were placed upon her. It is the ability to hear her own voice amid the roar of other people's stories. Her wildness is the instinct to remain alive. She will not agree to live in a cage because she knows freedom is not a luxury. It is the condition that allows her soul to breathe. The untamed can be gentle and strong at the same time. Her freedom does not cut or wound. It is like the wind on a warm evening, lifting away the weariness and bringing back the taste for life. She is the kind of woman in whose presence you start to remember who you were before you became convenient. How it shows up in life. The untamed cannot be mistaken for anyone else. She walks to her own pace, sometimes slow, sometimes swift, but always in rhythm with her heart. She does not choose a dress simply because it is appropriate. She wears what lets her body breathe and her soul smile. In her wardrobe, a simple linen dress might hang beside a necklace found at a flea market in a small seaside town. She is not afraid to mix the unmatchable because she does not play by someone else's rules of beauty. In conversation, there is no pretense. If she likes something, she will say so. If she does not, she will remain silent, but she will not smile just to be polite. This is not coldness. It is honesty, which to some feels like a breath of fresh air, and to others like a challenge. In her work, she chooses projects that make her heart beat faster, even if they are difficult, even if they demand courage. She knows that without inner fire, the result will be hollow. That is why she walks away from dead things, even if they bring steady income. In relationships, the untamed never asks permission to be herself. She values the space to breathe and offers that same space to her partner. She never holds on with force because she knows that anything you must grip tightly is already lost. You can recognize her by her gaze, direct, warm, but free. There is no fear in it of having to please at any cost. There is a quiet certainty that she will not trade her soul for someone else's approval. She chooses people, not social scripts of how it should be. She is not afraid to change her route if it leads to a dead end. Her style is free, vibrant, with elements of the unexpected. In relationships, she values space where she can breathe. In her work, she creates rather than copies, and she knows when a project is dead. Shadow aspects of the archetype. Even freedom has its shadow. And when the untamed loses connection with herself, her power begins to work against her. Sometimes she turns freedom into an endless battle, not because the world is truly dangerous, but because she has forgotten how to tell where there is real threat and where she can simply exhale. She argues not for truth, but to prove she cannot be tamed. And this rebellion drains her, leaving an emptiness behind. At times, she runs, not toward herself but away from someone, away from relationships, from promises, from closeness. She calls it freedom, but in truth it is fear. Fear of dissolving in someone else's expectations, fear of losing her boundaries. And in this flight, she loses the chance to experience true intimacy, the kind that does not take freedom away, but makes it deeper. There is another extreme, when she locks herself away in her fortress, so afraid of being tamed that she does not open the door even to those who come in peace. She stops sharing herself, and her wild energy begins to fade, because freedom without exchange turns into loneliness. And there is yet another quiet enemy of the untamed, destruction for the sake of beginning again. When it seems that tearing everything down to the ground will make it easier to breathe. But she forgets that sometimes the walls do not need to be demolished, only opened to let the light in. Attunement and practice. For the untamed to live within you as a source of strength and not as chaos, you must restore your connection to yourself. Step 1. Reclaim your body. Wild energy lives in movement. Dance without music, without an audience. Let your body find its own rhythm. Step 2. Say no where you have been used to staying silent. Start small. Refuse what drains you. Notice how your state begins to change. Step 3. Find your forest. It could be an actual forest, the sea, or a room where you are completely alone. A place where you can be without masks and without the weight of anyone's judgment. Step 4. Choose your ritual of freedom. It could be morning tea on the balcony, writing your thoughts in a journal, or walking without your phone. Anchor phrase, just for you. I breathe as my soul wants to breathe. Do not be afraid to be strange. Strange to them means real to yourself. In every woman, there is a part that cannot be bought, trained, or locked away. Protect it. Feed it with your attention and your care. Because as long as it lives, you live. And the world will always need those who refuse the cage and know how to breathe exactly as their soul wants to breathe.